One of the mainstays in the bullpen for the Cleveland Indians, Mr. John Rockers, joined us. John, how you doing, John?
I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Hey, John, you probably, when you got traded here and you heard you were coming to Cleveland, somebody probably came up to you and said, you know, the weather's cold up there. How do you like this weather the last couple of nights, John?
I think somebody put some weather on a plane from Atlanta and flew it up here. I don't see much different than here in the South.
Yeah, you're pretty much used to this type of weather, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking with John Rocker. John, how much of an adjustment is it from pitching in Atlanta to Cleveland as far as the ballpark and the dimensions go?
Not really. I mean, you can't really make an adjustment based on the ballpark. I mean, I'm not going to, when I go to Fenway Park, I'm not going to pitch some guy inside just in Fenway Park. You got to just, still pitch to your strength and stuff. And if, the ballpark you're in burns you, then it just happens. But, I mean, here the dimensions, they play fair, and the alleys are big enough, and you got the big wall in left field and stuff. So, yeah, I really hadn't seen any or made any obvious adjustments. It's just, just stick with my strengths. And, I hadn't really seen any obvious way the ballpark can burn a pitcher here.
John, we were listening to the announcers last night, and they were saying that the Indians may have made some adjustments with you mechanically. Is that Dick Pohl done anything?
No, not really. I mean, we got back looking at some old tape and just making sure I'm doing things, consistently, because that's really the whole thing with pitching. I mean, you can get a guy 0-2, and be mechanically sound in your first two pitches and throw good pitches, and then if you're inconsistent with your third pitch and you're mechanically unsound with that pitch, you can make a bad pitch, and the guy can get a base hit or whatever, and the first two pitches that you were consistent with just went to waste because of your inconsistency on that third pitch, and so it's just a matter of being consistent, and it was really just a matter of really just getting over that mid-season hump. I mean, had been through a lot. In late June, early July, with being traded, and had a lot of appearances, and just kind of the dog days of summer, and just basically just burned out, and it's really mentally taxing, physically taxing, and kind of over that little hump now, and ready to get back to sort of the stretch drive, I guess.
John, you've rejuvenated baseball for me because I just love your attitude. I mean, I just love when you come sprinting in from the bullpen. I mean, I wish more athletes had the emotion you have. You're sort of tell me if I'm wrong here, sort of a football player trapped inside of a baseball guy's body, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I tell a lot of people when they ask me what my favorite sport was, in high school and now and all that kind of stuff. And I always say football is my favorite sport. I love football. I love putting on the pads. I love taking some frustration out on people and stuff like that, and just so happened to be I was a better baseball player than I was a football player, and so I had to stick with my strength. But would probably much rather be suiting up across the way with the Cleveland Browns rather than the Cleveland Indians, but I just so happen to not be good enough at it. But yeah, I still kind of carry that mentality on the field.
I loved it when we first got you in New York when you had Jeter talking to himself. That's the first time we've seen that around here in a long, long time, John.
Yeah, it feels good. It always feels good to beat those guys.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
Especially Jeter.
Exactly. Whether in a Brave uniform or a Cleveland uniform, I think there's kind of a mutual hatred, kind of across the board for both these teams against the Yankees, and so it's nice to no matter what uniform you put on to put an L on those guys.
John, when you come in from the bullpen, and we're talking with John Rocker, when you come in from the bullpen, they play the music "Rock You Like a Hurricane." Do you actually hear it, or are you so psyched you're not even paying attention to it?
Oh yeah, I can hear it. The sound system here is pretty good, and they're not afraid to crank it up. So yeah, it's nice.
Does it help you?
Yeah, good atmosphere.
Does that help you, John?
Oh yeah.
John, when you're on the mound, you're moving a lot, you're bouncing around a lot. Is that just all that adrenaline inside of you, or is some of that a little bit to intimidate the batter?
No, just adrenaline. I usually, because to get up and pitch 60, 70, 80 times a year, it's taxing on your body and that kind of thing. And a lot of days you don't really feel quite up to par, and so we usually go to the GNC store and get a product called Rip Fuel or a hydroxy cut or whatever like that, and it's just a kind of an energy booster, energy pick me up, and that has a tendency to sort of make me a little twitchy and give me a little too much energy. But I think can kind of put that under control and use it to my benefit. And also times I'm sweating like an idiot out there, and of course I throw every pitch as absolutely hard as I can throw it, and usually my clothes are in a bit of disarray when I get done throwing. My shirt's kind of coming untucked and wrapped around me, my hat's on sideways and that kind of stuff. So it's just a matter of readjusting and sort of reconfiguring my wardrobe to get ready to throw the next pitch.
Well, I don't know if you know, but all those gyrations and the head on sideways, and the one time when you threw the one to the backstop, I read a lot, listen to a lot of these hitters. That does intimidate them, John.
Well, that's that. If that works, I guess I'll keep doing it then.
A lot of former Indians, well, several of them anyway, have commented, John, that this clubhouse is not conducive to preparing for winning ball games. Would you agree or disagree with that, having come from a different clubhouse altogether this season?
I don't really know how much clubhouse atmosphere is conducive or not conducive to winning ball games. It's the players and the players you got on your bench and the players that are out on the field and stuff. And I don't really think that. That what you do at 6:15 is going to mean the difference in getting a base hit at 7:45 or not. I don't really think clubhouse atmosphere really has a whole lot to do, with whether or not you're going to win a game that night. Now I know in some extreme circumstances it can. If you have teammates fighting each other, if you have a core of teammates who have a really run down attitude and we're not going to win, we stink kind of attitude. That may I guess negatively contribute to team morale and may send a team into a slump like that. But I think in the A's dynasty back in the late 70s, I've heard stories about them just getting in fist fights minutes before the game and stuff, and that was one of the better teams that had ever suited up in the last 30 or 40 years. So I think really clubhouse. Clubhouse atmosphere and stuff is a little bit overrated.
Talking about John Rocker. John, real quick, what did you think about Bart Colon getting suspended 7 games and the Houston Astros hitting all our batters?
I mean, the Houston guys I don't think they're throwing at our guys, but they're getting the luxury of pitching inside. And Bart, if he had wanted to hit the guy, he would have hit him. I mean, he was definitely just trying to send a message to Houston saying, lay off our guys. You just hurt, 2 of our best hitters, and, one of them, is going to be hurt for a couple of weeks. And if he had wanted to hit the guy, he would have hit him. He was just trying to wake their bench up and maybe send their pitching coach down the line and say, hey, look, guys, be a little more careful going inside and try not to stick their players. And, 15, 20 years ago, nothing like that would have been handed down from the league. It's just part of baseball and a part of, I guess players sort of governing themselves and pitchers protecting their hitters so they don't, get their limbs and digits broken and miss time and that kind of thing and therefore hurt the team. And it's just sort of a way to I guess self-government kind of thing. And then there again, if Bart had wanted to hit the guy, he would have hit him, and he wasn't trying to hit him. He was trying just to send a message to Houston, and they got that message. But I think the league sort of took the message a little too seriously, and I think Bart's being punched a little too severely, and it's really pitching's hard enough these days as it is. Guys are leaning way out over the plate and diving in, and ballparks are smaller. There's a lot of guys that the league doesn't know that cork bats and stuff, and scoring's way up and home runs are way up and stuff, and it's the pitcher's livelihood too, and we don't put good numbers up. We're not going to be around pitching very long, and if we got to pitch inside to establish our bread and butter, which is the outside part of the plate, and that's what needs to be done. The league's taking that advantage away from us.
Hey, John, you going to make Cleveland your home, or how are you going to do this? Have you thought about that yet?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to depend on I guess how I do this year, and what John Hart and Mark Shapiro want to do is if they want to make me a mainstay here in Cleveland, with a multi-year deal or something like that. And if they do that, I'll probably buy a place up here and make this my summer home. But I grew up in and around Atlanta, so I'll probably continue to to be around. That's where all my friends and family are and stuff. So I'll probably continue to be a resident down south. But probably definitely will try to make this a summer home.
Well, get it done, that contract extension, because you bring a hell of a lot of excitement to the game, John.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
John Rocker, thank you very much for the time.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Good luck,
Take
John.
care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
John Rocker spent a little time with us before a very big game with the Chicago White Sox live from Jacobs Field. We shall return in just a few moments here.